Hello everybody, my name is David. Thank you for joining me today. This is my question and answer video that I do every single Monday. And what I'm doing is I'm answering your guys' questions from last Monday. And if you have a question today, please go down below into the comment section. Ask me anything you want. I'll answer it in the next Q&A video next Monday. Some people's questions I may miss, and it's never on purpose. I'll always acknowledge you. So if I didn't acknowledge you or reply to you or answer your question, I simply didn't see it, I didn't get it, and I apologize. Please try to stay patient. Please stay here and ask me again. I get usually when I miss someone's question, they just tell me. They'll just say, you missed my question. And then I got to go back and try and find it. And sometimes I still can't find it. So please, you don't need to tell me I missed it. Just ask me again. Ask me again. Ask me again. Please, guys. I'm sure that kind of makes you feel bad, and you're wondering if I just don't like you or if I don't care or something. I just didn't get it. It happens. Sometimes we miss questions. Sometimes comments disappear. Sometimes I don't see it. Sometimes I've noticed people will, instead of asking their own question in the comment section, they go and reply to somebody else's and ask a question there. And I won't see that. I won't sit and read everyone's threads and conversations they have. I scan and make sure it's not toxic, and I make sure it's not abusive and nice, and then that's it. But yeah, just always ask me again, guys. Something I like to do every once in a while is recommend something called Shane's Law Petition. And what I'm trying to get you guys to do is to support this. Shane was a victim of a very nasty narcissistic smear campaign. And him and his wife endured this for a very, very long time and did not know what to do. There was no help for Shane, and Shane, unfortunately, took his own life. But fortunately, somebody didn't let him die in shame and decided to start a petition to start a law that will fight against this kind of public smearing, public attack. So if you guys could, please follow the link down below. Follow Shane's Law Petition link and just go there and sign it real quick. And it doesn't matter where you are in the world. I'd really appreciate if you guys could support this, because this is, society in the right direction, right? So please, thank you for supporting that. Something I also like to do every week is give a recommendation. And this week, I want to just give some pointers out that will help or may help you during the holidays. We've got Thanksgiving coming up for Americans in the next week, and then we've got Christmas in a month. Christmas, New Year's, and that's worldwide, and lots and lots of stress for the holidays. You guys have come out of emotionally abusive relationships. The biggest thing we tend to do is isolate, and always depression, falls, failed relationships. We've been abused and there's trauma, so we've got anxiety, we've got depression, and we want to isolate. We want to isolate, and that is the worst thing you guys can do, okay? But I understand. I want you guys to know something, that it never matters what you do, only how you feel about it. So if you guys want to isolate during the holidays, if that's the decision you're going to make, try to be conscious and aware that that will feel bad. And don't sit there and fall and sink into this hole of, oh God, nobody cares about me, I'm by myself on the holidays. Just make sure you realize that it's your choice. So here's some pointers that I hope will help you guys through the holidays, okay? One, I recommend getting a pet. And I always recommend adopting a pet from your local, whatever takes in stray pets, wherever you're at. Cats and dogs help you raise oxytocin levels. It helps you trust people again. It helps you be productive members of society again. It helps for depression and anxiety, things like this. Pets, please support, all the people and programs that are trying to help stray pets and unwanted pets, okay? So adopt a pet. That will help you guys extremely and definitely get you through the holidays. Plan a vacation. Maybe not stay at home. Maybe this is a good time to take a vacation, okay? And I understand people may not have money. You can take a cheap one. You can take a road trip, right? Road trip to the beach or something, okay? Give gifts. Huge. Give gifts, raises oxytocin and different hormones in your head, and it feels good. You'll feel happier, okay? Also, give gifts to yourself, right? If you've been through a relationship where you've been neglected, you've been abused, and you've been discarded and all these things, treated like you just don't matter to anybody, and you've been doing all these things for other people, let's start doing stuff for ourselves. Let's be a little selfish this year and give yourself some gifts. Entertain or host. have a party. Have people over. Instead of worrying about going to other people's parties and not isolating, try and have a party. Try and have some people over. Entertain and be a host. It helps. Start being creative. Creativity helps big time. Okay? Being creative and starting and sparking that creative part of your mind really helps with depression. It helps with anxiety. It helps with meeting people, being more social, raising hormones. Say yes to some things. Try to go to some functions, to some parties, to just go shopping. Try and just commit to a few things to get yourself out there, out of your house, out of your nest, out of your comfort zone. And in that way, it will change your environment. And that will reach, that gets me to the next one. Change your environment, okay? So redecorate your house, new wardrobe, new outfit, new hairdo, new hairstyle, new makeup, new makeover, new car, things like this. Changing things helps your brain change the architecture so you don't focus and ruminate so much on the past and stressors, okay? Reach out to people right now. Reach out and talk to people on a regular basis. See people, touch people, hug people, kiss people, say that you love them, okay? Just some tips, some pointers. I'll put these down into the description box down below. I hope this will help you guys get through the holidays. I know how stressful they can be, how lonely they can be, and that's why we need people, okay? We need people around us. So let's get started with the first question. And actually, this is not a question. This is from Sarah in Denmark. Hello, Sarah. Sarah likes to leave me some poems every now and then, and I thought I'd read this one. She titles it Dusty Curtains. Oh, these dusty curtains, they seem so heavy. They are drawn only because no one ever dared to shake them for the shameful dust. I know that for sure because curtains are meant to be pulled aside when the sun rises and the day awaits. But also I'm still sitting here in the dark staring at them. I wonder why. I bet if I get up from this chair and pull them aside, they will break and fall. They look very tender. Maybe that's why no one has ever dared to pull them aside. Very nice, Sarah. Thank you very much. I don't like to give my interpretation because we all have our own. So, first question's from Joanna in London. Hello, Joanna. And that reminds me, please, guys, give your locations. Just tell us where you're from. That's all I ask. If you want to ask me a question, just say where you are in the world, okay? Joanna is somebody that I missed last week. And she didn't tell me. I hope you're here watching, Joanna, and I apologize. Joanna says, you have inspired me to become a life coach, not necessarily in this particular area, but can you recommend a pathway or a course? Well, I think that's a personal thing, right? Find out where, I'm a big thing about society, and if you could, or if I could ever affect where society goes in a positive direction, I think that'd be wonderful. We're such social animals, Joanna, so anything that has to do with being social, relationships, the single most important thing to us, so meeting emotional needs, child development, things like this is so important in child. You could be a child life coach. I think that is if you like children, that would be wonderful. I have lots of clients who want me to coach their children too, and I do. I coach children as well as young as like preteens I've coached. And it's wonderful, and it's so rewarding. The younger people are, the more they are pliable, malleable, the more they can change, and they take the advice that you give, and the easier it is to excite them to do things for themselves. And you get to see them, do wonderful things really fast in their life. It's really, really, really rewarding. And what an impact you're making and change you're making on society, starting right from childhood, right? Avoiding so much stuff. Look at what we're all going through right now as adults. And if a lot of this can be avoided, wouldn't that be wonderful? Just a suggestion, but really it's a real personal thing. And I'm sorry I missed that last week. I hope you are here this week to see that. Thank you. Next question's from Vero in Lancaster, California. I really need to know because I can't stop obsessing about it and my therapist can't help. Why do narcissists hate us and forget all the wonderful things that we did. Right? They switch. They discard us, throw us away. We were so amazing, and now we're nothing. They hate us. Realize that hate is an internal emotion that's about ourselves. Okay? So the more we are comfortable with ourselves, the more we're comfortable with other people. The more we are accepting of who we are and know who we are, the more we are accepting of other people and and things that we find wrong with them, or you know. Narcissists have never had their self developed by their parent. Okay, so you must have a very good relationship with yourself to be accepting of other people and to not be judgmental. Self-respect equals respect for others, not the other way around. Okay, like, it's hard. How can you love somebody if you don't love yourself, right? If you hate other people, most likely you hate yourself. So this comes from inside. This comes from internal. People that hate they're lacking emotional maturity and emotional development. All right? I mean, empathy. Empathy is something that's developed. We aren't born with it. I've used this example a lot for people. And if you knew a bully or someone mean in high school, you see them in your 20s years later, and they tend out to be really good people, pretty good people. And that shows you they finished development at 18, 19, 20. And they received that now they're an empathetic person, but they weren't at 16, 17. That shows you how important development is, and that we need all those years of development and empathy and things like that we're not born with. Okay. Anna from Syracuse, New York. Hello, Anna. If the ex, almost divorced, has a death in the family, should I still go to the funeral to show your grown children an example? You don't need to do anything for your grown children, and we don't need to live by example for our children anymore once they're grown. They're there to make they're adults now. They make their own choices. This is something you can talk to them about, Anna. You don't need to show examples anymore. They're adults, so you should be able to talk to them about things like this now. So why don't you have a conversation with your children about this? Okay? You don't have to do anything. And I'm not going to tell you what you should or shouldn't do, right? This is about your own morals that you value. Is this something very important to you, right? Because we don't need to do this for your ex-husband. You don't need to do this out of respect for the dead. You don't need to do this for your children. You don't need to do this at all. It's about how you feel, Anna. Okay? If you're okay with not going, that's all that matters. Okay? And your children don't need to go. It's up to them if they want to. We don't force them. Also, in your comment, you mentioned that they never had a relationship with their grandparents for over 20 years, never even knew who they were, because their father didn't care, didn't hold these things important. And so why would your children? Never even got to have a relationship with the grandparents, so they don't really care. So we do things out of respect, but that's because respect is important to us. I hope that makes sense. I hope that helps. Thanks, Anna. And Lori. Don't know where Lori is from. Please leave us your locations, guys. Thank you. I have a problem with anger. After 10 years with a narcissist, I stand my ground, but I go too far sometimes. Help. What do I do to balance myself? This is a problem everybody has, right? After coming out of an abusive, traumatic, emotionally relationship. We are hypervigilant, and that's why we wake up often. Our brain's always looking for danger, and it's overdoing it. And why? It's not because there's so many scary people, bad people out there. It's because you don't know how to handle them and deal with them. Okay? There's people out there that do bad things, but it doesn't need to affect you. And it doesn't need to make you so scared that you isolate or that you wake up every 3-4 hours, right? Because there's such scary bad people out there. It's because you don't know how to handle them. Your brain literally doesn't trust you. Okay? What do you do to balance yourself? Heal. Heal from trauma. And that's everything I'm telling you to do on my channel. So I'm not going to go over every single thing here, but we need to eliminate stress out of our lives. We need to completely understand everything that's happened, right? And start fixing our body, start listening to our emotions and learn how to process emotions and learn how to meet our emotional needs. These things will help us not do this again. Okay? Thank you, Lord. Charlotte. Don't know where Charlotte is from. Please leave us your locations, guys. Thank you. I was in a relationship with a man in his 50s who would obsess over other men who were in their 20s. He would try to impress them. If he could not, he would smear them and then stalk them. I caught him masturbating to a Facebook photo of one of them. He stated they had it lucky. So he would say that all these 20-year-olds had it lucky because he had it so hard because his dad died early and he never learned to read or never received an education. And you want to know what all this is? Well, he's obviously dealing with homosexual tendencies, right? And he doesn't know how to process these things. He doesn't know what's going on, right? So he's obsessing over men he doesn't know, and he gets angry at them, which is probably angry at his own homosexual tendencies. And let's see, he is envious, right? Sounds like he's envious. They're living some ideal life in his head that he thinks is ideal that he never had. So he needs to heal from his childhood. A lot to heal from, right? That's about all I can tell you. I don't know him, right? You're just asking me, what does this single behavior mean? And it's obvious that he's dealing with homosexual tendencies, right? And it's got to be, I can't imagine what that's like when you're in a relationship with a female and you're obsessing over men, but you don't want to admit that you're homosexual or bisexual, and you have a lot of childhood suffering and pain and a lot of shame here because he has to bring up that he didn't learn how to read or receive education. A lot of shame. He feels ashamed of himself, even around 20 kids in their 20s. Yeah, lots of stuff going on, but I'm thinking he's dealing with his own homosexual tendencies. Where are we at in time? Let's do one more from Stefan in Italy. Hello, Stefan. Hi, David. I have a parent with narcissistic personality disorder, and I had a girlfriend with narcissistic personality disorder too. I did a lot of learning and discovering about narcissistic personality disorder and PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Now, 1 year after my relationship, I have been dating someone for more than a year now. Just to let you know, that sounds like you started dating this person before you even broke up. Just to let you know, that's the way it's worded here. And she seems like a good person. She also has a parent with NPD, but from time to time she does or says something that triggers me and makes me wonder if she has NPD. Do you have any advice? Okay, so Stefan has a narcissistic parent, has dated a narcissistic girlfriends before, and now Stefan believes that he healed a year later. Now you're dating a female that is really nice, but she had a narcissistic parent and she's triggering you, making you believe that she might be a narcissist now, and you don't know what to do. Okay, so one thing, it sounds like you're not healed. That's one thing, and that's major. And if we haven't healed from relationships, we aren't ready for more relationships. Do you see that, guys? Okay. I can't be beaten for 10 years, beaten, and then break up with them, and then a month later start dating someone else. And then now I'm going to start processing all that, abuse, 10 years of this and that. But I have a new girlfriend. She's great to me. So that's good, right? She's nice to me. That's good. No. My focus is on her, not me. And it needs to be 100% on me, especially in an abusive relationship that has been dependent, codependent, traumatic, abusive, neglectful. You have compromised yourself because someone has abused you for so long. And I know you don't think abuse is okay. Right? So we've accepted abuse for years and we have lost ourselves, who we are. And if you try to start dating someone right now, it will not work. Do you see? That's all I got to say. Because I don't know her, right? I don't know. I don't know anything about her. You said she shows signs of NPD. That doesn't mean she has it, does it? And if we were healed and confident, it may not bother us. It may not trigger us. We shouldn't have triggers in new relationships. Right? One thing we always have going for us, everybody, is time. That's why we don't get committed right away. So date other people. Don't just be exclusive. And don't date this person every day. You don't need to see them every night. You don't need to talk to them on the phone for hours every night. You don't need to tell them every single thing about you. You don't need to talk about every relationship you've ever had. Do you see this? It's going too fast. And that's what's happening. That's an obvious. I don't even know you. I don't know her, but it's obviously going too fast. Slow it down. Create some space. Create some time. Take a step back so you can see it better. Don't see her for a little while. See how that feels. See how she reacts. Talk to her. Tell her these things. See what happens. Okay? That's my advice. And this goes to show everybody, don't date. We have to heal ourselves, and dating other people is just a distraction. That's all. Distraction. That's it for part 1, everybody. Please, if you can help me by subscribing to my channel, voting up or down, leave a comment, ask a question, share this video, post it with on other social media accounts and groups and forums, and give it to people who need it. Thank you, everybody. Love yourself first. I'll see you in part 2. Bye-bye.